and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the San Antonio Soccer Roundtable. It's a trio tonight. Todd is out, couldn't join us today, but we got Scott is out. I'm sorry, Scott is out. I read your name.
Todd's always out, but that's a discussion.
I read your name on the screen. That's the first thing that came to my mind. How you doing, Todd?
I'm doing good. Night off of work, so hey,
Nice.
Can't beat that.
Nice. Harry, how you doing?
Doing well. I got my throwback gear on for the Scorpions since it's throwback week, and
It is.
SAFC hasn't progressed to the Scorpions yet, but this will be my game day gear on throwback Saturday with Phoenix Rising coming to town, and I know I'm definitely looking for some revenge this week out of that beat down in the desert.
Yeah, we'll get to that match.
A little bit later.
Yeah, to the upcoming match a little bit later. But let's start off with UPSL news and Samba. Guys, who has the stats on that?
Samba played former NPSL club, coming into the UPSL club, Terrell FC, at Wheatley Heights last Saturday. Pulled out a 3-0 victory with their full squad now. Trialists have been dismissed. Club's been picked. So 3-0 victory. Let's hope they can start the season like that.
Yeah, then this is their last preseason game. Is that correct?
Yes.
Last preseason. Okay,
Schedule. This full regular season schedule's not out yet, but this was at least the last announced preseason game.
Yeah,
so got a couple weeks.
Yeah, they got a couple weeks to gel that final selection, that final team that they picked.
The schedule is out.
Is it?
Yeah.
When's the first game?
If you go to UPSLsoccer.com on the schedule, they start out September 8th at 7:30 at Wheatley Heights.
This weekend.
Actually, this weekend, yeah.
Yeah.
Against Armadillos FC, which I think they're one of the newer teams.
Is that the team that had a soccer ball or not? That's Todd's main concern.
It's the UPSL. 60% of their teams have a soccer ball.
So actually, they start this week here. Actually, now that we bring that up, but yeah, they.
And they're playing at home.
So going up against the SAFC match, I wish that wasn't the case, but but then next Saturday, so basically just a quick rundown on their schedule. So the only chance you're really going to get to see them really for an extended time would be this Saturday on the 8th. Then they go on the road to Atletico Katy on the 15th, on the 22nd, Bay Area Oilers, the 30th, FC Imperial, October 6th, Houston FC, October 13th, Armadillos. Finally come back home October 20th. And then they have basically their next 4 at home. So they open at home, go on the road for 5, and then come home for 4. So, as Coach Rexhold mentioned the last time he was on, they better be getting some points, or by the time they get home, it might be too late. Yeah, and
we got also speaking of that, they said they're going to have an announcement of a former Division I player that they contracted here, so they haven't said anything about that. So that's still pending on them. And the runners. Let's talk about the Open Cup. The runners finally found out who they're facing.
They're going to face the Celtic Cowboys Premier, who's based out of Austin, Texas. They'll be playing in Austin on September 22nd. Which does not conflict with a SAFC home match, so could be a road trip. Go up to Austin, support us, San Antonio Soccer. Good opportunity, and it's I believe the game's at 3, so you'd still be able to probably get home in time to tune in against St. Louis.
You said September 22nd?
22nd.
Oh wow! So. Yeah, the runners also kick off. They kick off actually on Sunday, this Sunday on September 9th, against FC Waco at the UTSA Rec Field Complex South. 4 p.m. kickoff for that. They play the first 2 home. And the reason why I asked if it was the 22nd, because on the 23rd they play Round Rock SC, so maybe back-to-back days, Open Cup and then league match against Round Rock, which last year they were pretty good for that here. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, so we can go ahead and make that Sunday match at the UTSA complex to see the Runners and Waco.
However, Bernie, FC Thunder Bernie, do not kick off until the 15th. And they play FC Waco. Their home opener is also on a Sunday, again on the 16th against Coyotes FC for that there. And then the other San Antonio team, they kick off.
Mac.
Yeah, Mac. Actually, this is kind of interesting because we hadn't heard where they were going to be playing.
Drum roll.
They're going to be playing at the Star Soccer Complex.
Wow.
So they play at 4:00 on September 15th against FC Knights, who Samba played last year. So, UPSL actually kicks off this weekend really for us, and that'll be something we'll have to kind of pay attention to a little bit more. But so it looks like all 4 teams now went from 1 to 4.
Yeah.
We'll be in action within the next 2 weeks.
And that's great, man. I mean, especially here now that SAFC season is winding down. Let's hopefully it continues as much as it can into the playoffs, hopefully. But more soccer the better, especially with the temperatures going down a tad bit into the high 90s instead of the low 100s. It's cooler nights, right? So there's going to be plenty of soccer for everybody to go around. Also, the colleges have started already playing. So there's also that. We will bring you guys more information, more follow-ups on the local colleges here shortly. And anything else, guys, for UPSL, Open Cup, NPSL? Not much, right?
No, like I said here, I know as far as for lower division, I know NISA got their Division 3 bid in as well as USL D3, so both of those are in front of the federation. NPSL Pro, I believe, is still trying to push through. Todd probably has a little bit more knowledge on that, but they're trying to go an alternative route, but should be interesting.
Yeah, they haven't announced nothing since that meeting they had in New York, but it's looking 8 to 10 teams to start out. I know Nice's doing the fall summer schedule like Europe. No word on NPSL yet, NPSL Pro or Premier or whatever they're called. But yeah, they're trying to work around the federation. Trying to, could work, could not work. I'm for it. I just think the standards that USSF set are unreasonable. So if you can find a way to give me more soccer, I'm all for it.
Right. Yeah. So we'll be bringing you more coverage, guys, here on the UPSL teams, especially the local teams, San Antonio teams. And so stay tuned for that as the season kicks off here this weekend. So let's jump into some SAFC news. Let's start with the review of the RGV game, the South Texas Derby. What you guys think, Harry? What you think?
When RGV scored in the 3rd minute, I was like,
here we go again.
Here we go again. And when they had a couple of chances, they missed. I think the other big issue, McCarthy went out, and of course he missed the following match, I think with a concussion or, he banged heads with one of the RGV players and got subbed out. And, like I said here at half, it was 1-0. And,
did you get the feeling that, it's the Titanic was coming, the iceberg?
I'll just say I'm glad I did not post anything because it would not have been positive, and especially how the second half turned out.
Right.
I would have looked like a fool, but I'm not going to lie to you. I was okay. Hey, this is where we can really start. Hey, is Coach Powell really on the hot seat? Because if they would have lost to RGV and how they started that game, it was the defense overplayed. I forget who scored it. I think it was Jesus Enriquez.
It's some stupid RGB player. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, he's talented. He's
from Xolos, I think. They were saying that he was from Xolos, the B team.
Yeah,
something like that.
The guy that scored is pretty talented, and
Okay.
he came in mid-season, and he's kind of gave him a little bit of a spark. And I know we like to rib RGV, but they do have some talent on that team, and it's when you fall down 1-0, and especially with our history there, where goals typically don't come when you get a goal in those first few minutes, because like when we opened up HEB Park and we got that early goal from Billy Forbes, and it kind of helped us out. So, but second half was a different story, and we'll let Todd tell the positive side as opposed to.
Yeah. So Todd, what do you think?
After they scored the first one, I thought it was over, because we have not been really putting, we haven't been coming back this year.
Right.
So I was ready to turn it off at halftime. Glad I didn't. And Lang, geez, that's an addition to the club that is looking like the smartest move we could have made.
Right.
2 matches, 2 goals, 2 assists.
But we all said that we needed somebody that
a spark
that could be a spark, that had
right.
that attacking mind frame that was missing. And it's nothing against the guys that were here, and my preseason guy that I thought that would fill the role, Escalante. There's no way to sugarcoat it. He's been a huge disappointment,
right?
On the year. And
hey, my guy hasn't even made the game day 18 in 2 weeks, so.
But that's a separate discussion.
So what do you think this whole spark in the second half? Because was because of Lang, or was it the attitude that they came out with? What you guys see different from the first to the second half?
My biggest thing, and after the match, I went on to Down in the Valley on the RGV podcast that they do here, and to me the biggest thing, and especially if you go back to the stats, from the 4-game losses, and when we talk about these two games that here, well, they got their shots, which San Antonio typically will do. But they were on target. Like on this game here, they had 20 shots, 9 of them were on frame, compared to RGV, which had 16 shots and 2 on frame, which is what we were doing. Like in the Phoenix game, that was kind of our stats here. So to me, I think with this team, if you can quit kicking field goals, as I say, and actually get them on target, it makes a world of difference. You get some lucky ones, and to me, and that score could have been greater. It could have been beyond 3-1, if it wasn't for the outstanding goaltending from Cordy in the first half. But to me, I love their second goal, because there was a foul right before on Lopez where they crossed it over, and I think it was Lang that also had to get in at that point. They missed out because of the foul that you couldn't see because of the camera angle, and it looks like they came back and did it again. So so the first goal was Connor's first professional goal. Yeah. So congrats to Connor for that. And then the second goal was Lance. It was a pass by Lopez, was it? That was in the middle. He opened it wide to Lang to the right, and he took it with his left shot and kind of curled it over the keeper. It wasn't in the corner. It was more in the center, but just over where the keeper couldn't reach it. And man, I thought that was gonna be, goal of the week. Just by the way I looked at it. But here comes Cheno for another Sports Center goal. And
but Cheno's wasn't up for goal of the week, and Lang's was.
It wasn't, but it was on Sports Center.
Yeah.
So he's already has 2 goals this year.
Which do you think was the better goal?
Technically, I think Lang's goal was better. I think Cheno's was a smart goal. But technically,
just flicked it out and chipped it over.
Yeah, because Sonny saw Cheno streaking. He got that ball over the defense, and I guess he caught he caught the RGV keeper midway coming out. He wasn't sure if he was going to come out or not, and he just chipped it over him. One touch.
But they were pressing at that point. So, the line was high. So, I know the goalie was kind of out of position, but with how they were playing and how they were trying to push for it, to me it was perfect because, the goalie's going to be up a little bit more. And, we've had this discussion, if you lose by 2 or if you lose by 1, it doesn't matter if you're trying to press to get that game-tying goal. And
right.
But Guzman definitely just flicked it over and it was a beauty. But I'm with you. I thought Lang's was the better goal overall.
Yeah, so that gave us 3 points coming back from 4 losses in a row. So that gave us a little more, a little hope, as we can say, a little hope that we could still make the playoffs. And then we had to face the Real Monarchs this past Monday night. Labor Day, yep. And, I mean, coming off the RGV win, it's a great boost and everything. But knowing that you're going to go up to the Real Monarchs, they were at the time they were
we
first
have
place.
success against them.
Yeah, at the time they were first place in the West. I don't know if they still are. Haven't really checked.
They're still in first place.
Okay.
The big deal about this game is that the Monarchs, since they opened up their new stadium, had only tied once. They had not lost, and in fact, in the last 2 years, they've only got 2 losses at home, and both of them happen to be to San Antonio. So,
right.
In Salt Lake, they've been almost impossible to beat, and some of them haven't even been close. Like when Phoenix has went up there. When Orange County's gone up there, they've walked away with nothing. So,
right.
To me, like I said here, it was one where, if you came out with a tie, I think you would have been happy to come out with 3 points.
Everybody would have been happy at that point. Yeah. Correct. Todd, what you think of that Real Monarchs facility and that game?
Looked like a high school stadium.
Really?
But it's a soccer-specific high school stadium.
It's a
cheap metal bleachers.
On one side, yes.
Well, we only see the one side on TV, which was empty.
You know what the annoying part was the way it was set up. The sun was kind of blocking the first half.
Yeah.
A lot of times I see games on TV, and sometimes when they'll play during the day, you'll see that the shadow of the stands kind of cast like a halfway shadow. I'm like, do they not think about this when they're planning stadiums or like the TV, how it's going to view for the viewers? I'm not sure.
I don't know. Ask DC United, who built the MLS stadium and has to move the kickoff times a half hour back because of that. So,
yeah, I mean that's something that you think they think about because most of the people are going to watch it from their house, from their home. You can only fit a certain amount of people in the stadium. So Todd, what you think of that game overall, the Monarchs?
I thought we looked good, but we looked good against the Monarchs earlier when we have success against them. So I wasn't surprised by the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was one of our better played matches all season. So,
what did you think about Seth starting where King normally plays and then King coming down to the middle?
Mm-hmm.
The lineup really confused me with that. Because King has been such a big part of the offense. And generally your center backs don't go forward like
King does. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, King goes way up there, yeah.
So, yeah, when I saw the lineup originally, I was completely confused, but let's be honest, it's not the first time the lineup's confused me this year. So I'm pretty sure Coach Powell is just doing the lineup so I can't have a perfect week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it does give you some give-me's with Guzman, Gordon. I'm pretty sure you can pencil that in now.
He's had Murphy start at forward, Bruce, Seth, I believe, started a match at forward.
Yeah.
So even that's not a gimme.
Yeah, that's true.
Basically, Gordon and Cochran are the only give-me's.
Right.
Used to be King, but now, well, he started, but not in the position you think. And I think Lopez is a lock too. To me, what kind of surprised me.
It surprised me Ward didn't travel.
That was the thing to me. And
was it injury or no?
I like Pekka. No, he didn't make the 18 at all. It wasn't on the injury list.
Maybe a small knock. Maybe you never know. But
and I don't think he made he started in RG. He started in he did start in RGV.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I wonder if they've got him kind of on a minutes rotation. I wonder because you don't see many players go back to back anymore on SAFC, for some reason.
Right.
Outside of Cochran and Lopez and Gordon, but Gordon's going to be gone this week. There's really not a consistent. Well, I guess King. So out of the 11, you'd say are pretty consistent on getting starts no matter when the game is.
What have you guys thought of Mr. Fear the Beard so far these past 2 games? That Diego's been out with a lower body injury.
That's interesting.
I thought he's been a little shaky, but he's started the matches shaky.
Well, you think it's maybe because he hasn't played as much and he needs to get a little bit of rhythm, a couple of games under his belt?
Yeah, of course. But I thought the first 10 minutes of each match, I thought he's been a little shaky. And then he settles into the match.
Mm-hmm.
And once he settles in,
it looks good.
There hasn't been any issues.
Yeah, I think the defense has been more solid than the previous 4 games in these last 2 games, right? Or no?
The RGV goal, I put more on the defense than Cardone, because basically he cut back and he had an open net, where he wanted to go. The goal that he gave up against the Monarchs was on a free kick. He did get his hand on it, but the guy got enough power to where it was able to go in. So on free kicks, that's one where you can kind of fault the goaltender, especially if you get a hand on it. But
I'm not saying that it was a definite we should have had it. I'm just saying he's looked a little shaky to begin the matches.
Yeah.
A little unsure of some of his decisions right from the start. But like I said, he settles in. Within a couple minutes, he settles into the match. And it's not just
that this week though.
It's just not him. You see it with other players from other teams. They take a few minutes to get up to game speed and get their head actually in the match.
Any thoughts on Diego's injury all of a sudden?
It's a lower body injury, man. I don't know. With SAFC, with sports, I don't know. The last time we saw him on the pitch, he seemed to be fine, and then all of a sudden, some things happened, and
magically we signed a third goaltender.
Well, we needed one because Lee had left. So I mean,
but did you?
Unless you want to keep.
You didn't really need a third goaltender. I know you
needed a third
one, but you don't. This late in the season, you don't need a third goaltender, in my opinion. Because if
you always need a third keeper,
you never know what happens. Yeah, you never know what could happen. Everybody has to. I mean, it's not like
you can go pick one up. You can go.
You want that third. If somebody gets hurt. You don't want to sign him a third keeper 2 days before a match. You want to have him practicing with the defenses.
Oh, we have Ryan Rosendo out there.
So they can, get to know them. They can get to know the keeper, how the keeper likes things, how the keeper communicates. You don't want somebody going in where they don't know the team. You got to keep a third keeper.
I like I said here, it's just tinfoil hat. Me, putting it on. I just find it.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
That hey, they signed it. He had to play. He had to be in the 18 against Swope Park just because it was too short a time period. For the third goaltender to come up.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, he has he's not on the 18, and like I said here, it's to me, and that's sad because he's been a pivotal part of the team, and I think I'll say 85% of the fan base really love him, and would love to give him
a send off
praise that he deserves, because he has been an outstanding goaltender. But it doesn't look good that to have the incident that happened, and now all of a sudden have an injury. And if he's hurt, he's hurt. And like I said, I don't want to say here. It's just, to me, the timing of it doesn't look good in my opinion.
And is that how we're referred to it?
Yeah,
the incident.
What else would you call it?
The tweet.
I just want to get our terminology correct.
Yeah.
Well, it's to me, it's stupid on all parts, but you know how this organization is.
Twittergate. It's called Twittergate, guys.
Twittergate. All right, yeah. Twittergate.
Okay, let's move on. What do you guys think? Channel tied the all-time leading for goal scorer for SAFC. What is it, at 11 goals?
It's not hard.
Yeah, well, it's not. I mean, it's definitely not. And he tied what? Who is it? Rafa?
Probably,
Rafa.
Yeah. Rafa used to be it. Yeah,
Rafa.
So he tied Rafa. So it's 11 apiece for the all-time leading goal scorer in SAFC history. The 3 years.
Not very hard. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Some guys could do it in half a season. So we got 3 points.
Some guys for other teams have done it already.
Yeah,
that's true.
3 points in Salt Lake puts us right back in 8th place. Let's be honest. A couple of weeks ago, it didn't look as bright, but now San Antonio seems to have their destiny in their hands. It's all up to them. They don't have to depend on anybody.
Let's be honest. A couple of weeks ago, we were in 5th.
True.
So,
But I mean, it's back to their hands. My point is that it's back in their hands, and what happens, they control their destiny. If they don't make it, it's on them. If they make it, it's on them. And we have Phoenix. Let's go over the standings right now. Harry, got those?
Yeah, so number 1 is Real Monarchs.
Right.
They played 27 games. They got 53 points. Number 2, there's 2 teams that are, I think there's a true top 3. You got Orange County, who's played 28, who's 2 points behind. But you got Phoenix Rising, who plays RGV tonight in Phoenix, dollar beer night. So that crowd will be rocking. And they played 26 games, and they have 50 points. So even if they win, even though they'll be tied, Monarchs will still be ahead based on the first goal difference of the wins, because they'll have 17 and Phoenix will be there. But I think those are your top 3, and I think those are going to be pretty well locked.
Right. Between
4th and 9th is going to be a dogfight. In Sacramento, has got 27 matches, 46 points. 5th is Timbers 2 at 28 games, 45 points. Swope Parks is in 6th at 43 points. Reno's 7th at 26 matches, 42 points. And then the two that I think still have a shot. I know everybody else still technically mathematically alive, but San Antonio this week in the 8th spot, at 40 points, 27, and then hot on their heels is St. Louis, 27 at 39 points for that here. And
where's the 10th place team?
Oklahoma City at 28 matches and 35 points, and Fresno in 11th at 28 and 35 points. So there's a 5-point gap, and both of them have played an additional game.
So I've heard this thrown around in other podcasts. I think it was the USL show where I heard it first. Is that basically in the West you're gonna need close to 50 points to make the playoffs. Do you guys see that?
I think you're gonna need more than that.
When before, I mean, wasn't 50 points usually what it would get you, like second, third, maybe?
Yeah. Well, no.
There's been added matches.
Yeah, added matches. And let's be honest, so the bottom of the league, despite how San Antonio plays them, they haven't gotten a lot of results, for that here. But when you're, I think they're playing 2 more matches than they did last year for that here. So, to me, like I said here, and to me, even if you look at the, San Antonio's record, there's and I know it's not baseball, but or football, they've won 11, drawn 7, and lost 9. So they're just a shade over playing 500 ball if you're really looking at it from win-loss, tie perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, 50 points. They have how many matches left?
You have 8.
Seven.
7. Okay.
So
Oh,
they
yeah,
still have 7 matches. So there's still 21 points. So you're talking about needing. I think you're going to need more than 10 points to get in. And the reason I say that is San Antonio plays at Swope Park and at St. Louis. Those are 6. If anybody wins, that's a 6-point swing going that direction. Outside of Phoenix, which I think is going to be a tough game, but I think coming home after the embarrassment is something that the team better be fired up for. But then they get, then they go on the road for 3 where they get Tulsa on, I believe it's a Saturday, Swope Park, I believe it's on a Wednesday, and then at St. Louis, which to me, if there's a match that I'd want to see or that I'd want to go to, it would be that St. Louis match, because I think, I think that's going to me, that's going to be the game of the week and possibly decide who gets that last playoff spot, pending somebody, falling down in the standings.
It could really come down to that game. And then the last 3 games are at home.
Sounders 2, Vegas, and RGV at the end. And I don't want to face RGV with something on the line.
Oh, man.
Because the Dynamo, because the Dynamo, I think, are almost out of it at this point, and their Open Cup will be over. They will bring some fringe MLS talent over, we'll just say, like they have a history of doing, because it's a nice, easy 3-hour commute or 45-minute flight.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to come down to that RGV match because,
2016 all over again?
Well, it's like I told down in the valley, I was like, you can't tell me from an RGV standpoint that their season would not be made if they knocked San Antonio out of the playoffs.
It would.
Because they don't have,
they have nothing to, they have nothing to play for.
I know technically, mathematically, they're still alive, but realistic, they're not. They're playing out the string and playing spoilers. And, like I said, if you can't get in, what's the better way to end your season knowing that you knocked out your rival as well? So.
Right. And, so this coming match is going to be a big match. Todd, do you have any Todd's 3 points to victory this week versus Phoenix, or any not 3 points, just what do you think what do you think the team has to do to come away with points in this game, especially taking in consideration the last result we had against them?
Honest opinion, I don't see us getting points.
Oh, why are you doing this?
I do. I
disagree with Tom. You don't think the players are going to come out with a chip on their shoulder?
I'm sure they'll come out with a chip on their shoulder. It doesn't mean we're getting points.
Man.
Dude, Phoenix is loaded, though. Phoenix
is loaded.
Loaded. They just picked up 2 loans from LAFC, for that here. So they're Phoenix. To me, if San Antonio does not, or doesn't make it to the title game, I would love to see a Phoenix Rising and Cincinnati match, because I think they're the 2 deepest teams and probably the 2
player
best
power on both of those teams
is just outstanding. And like I said here, taking my San Antonio fandom away, to be honest with you, I could see ESPN picking up, moving it from ESPNU wherever it is. If it's Phoenix Rising to, at FC Cincinnati, they'd sell out Nippert for there. I'm willing to bet Phoenix would travel pretty well, to there. Assuming that San Antonio doesn't make it, which I still think we have the talent to do so. But to me, like I said here, the only reason why I give San Antonio a chance is because they got embarrassed in Phoenix. There's no way to sugarcoat it. And like I said here, I know they're going to be missing Gordon, which is, to me, is going to hurt a little bit. But, to me, if you can have Escalante or, I guess it'd probably be Murphy, right, on the wing. Who do you think is going to start in place of Gordon there, Todd?
Presley?
Murphy. Presley will be on the other wing. I think you're going to see Presley Bryant
They've been playing Presley in the middle this last.
What about Lang? You don't think Lang?
Lang's on the left.
Oh, Lang. Yeah, Lang Presley. Forgot how Lang played over there.
And Murphy on the other side.
Hey, would this match would you come out with? So I guess the question for here is, to me, there's two ways to play Phoenix. You either hunker down and do a true counterpoint, or you try to maybe go three in the back and go more offensive. But, because to me, I think I don't see one goal, like a 1-0 being enough to beat Phoenix. You'd either have to bunker in and just hope you can kind of catch them, on a counterattack. Or you're going to have.
I don't think the bunkering is going to stop them, though. You're going to have to go offense because I don't think we'll stop. Even bunkering. I don't think we're going to stop that offense.
So you think would you go three in the back or no? Because we have done it before.
I'd still go four. I'd go four in the back. I'm not going three in the back.
Put King though more on the.
There's the problem. You put three in the back against Phoenix, they're going to score.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think of Billy and Vega coming back? You think they're going to get booed?
No. I don't think so. Do you?
I don't think Vega will get booed. I got a feeling Billy will get booed.
Billy's loved here.
Billy is loved here, yes. But now we're playing Billy on that specific day. Match day feeling.
He will not get booed. I guess you guys.
He should get booed. Devin should get booed. They're the opposing team. Hell yeah.
The one that I could see getting booed.
No, but I don't care who you are. You should get booed because you're playing. You're the enemy. You're the enemy. But will it happen? I don't know.
You guys are in 118.
Mm-hmm.
Do you anticipate you guys are going to boo Billy or Devin? I think.
Do you think we plan ahead?
No,
we don't plan ahead.
If we planned ahead,
if we planned ahead, we wouldn't have tweeted shit like a couple weeks ago.
Well, I mean,
they will get booed.
I think
because Phoenix will get booed. So
because they're with Phoenix, right? But
I don't see it. At least at the start, I don't see it. Now, if they're
after they're up 3-0.
No. If there is a questionable push or questionable dive by a certain number 7,
right?
Then I think it comes. Then I think it comes. But I think at the start of the game, it'll be, we love you and blah blah blah. But once the game starts, when action starts happening, at that point. But when they're doing the lineups, when they're doing warm-ups, there's no chance either one of them are in my opinion getting booed.
Let me throw this out there because I've seen it plenty of times watching soccer over the years, where when a certain player comes back and let's say the home team is getting blown out, do you think there'll be cheers?
No, I would like to think that. Well,
I've seen it happen to the visiting team is dominating and the fans are fed up the way the home team has been playing, and I've seen them do the ole every time they pass, and I don't know.
I don't think our crowd's that sophisticated yet.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
I'm not trying to diss the San Antonio crowd, but when they're not in the game, as Todd says, the T-shirts get more of a cheer than anything. So,
T-shirt cannons. Yes.
When they're not in the game, the fans aren't in the game, and that's just the opposite of how it should be.
But I do think this is a big game. I think with Billy coming back, I do think this game has been circled by the fans as one, and I'd hopefully the crowd will be there. We'll see. There's a lot going on this weekend, because not only with the and not that Samba match will draw any from SAFC, but I think UTSA also plays Baylor at that same time. So it'll be very interesting to see the turnout this week for SAFC with, and I know they're a little bit different, but I think quite a few of what the 210 guys, and I think what I know the Gardeners used to be, and I don't know if I know they broke up, but a lot of them were that college age. So
Speaking of that night, let's move into it. San Antonio's having a what you call a Our Future / retro night, honoring the past San Antonio Thunder team of the old NASL, and also playing what can you call it? What you guys saying? Acknowledging the future of this team, the academy of this team, because I think their season, the academy team seasons, just started this past weekend.
Just started,
right?
Yeah.
So so yeah, what do you guys think of that promotion that they're having? Because they're having a scarf.
I like it.
Special scarf, special top, pre-match tops.
Special scarf, special tops. Before kickoff, they're doing something for the academy. At halftime, they're doing something for the elite training program. Interested to see maybe if, some former – I know it's been – shit, damn, I'm old. It's been a while since the Thunder are around, but,
70s.
Wondering if possibly some former players or something. It would be pretty old now, but older than me. Someone is. Might be there. Auction for the warm-ups again, which I think look really nice. So, and are they doing dollar beers too?
No, it's not a Saturday night game.
No, yeah, they're just doing those. So they're doing special pregame tops with the old school SAFC, San Antonio Thunder. Design all the way around. It's a nice what would you call it? USA themed jersey.
USA themed. It's got the Thunder logo on the sleeve, stars and thunderbolts on the front. Red, white, and blue color scheme. Like I said, I like it, but I still like the outlandish 70s NASL kits that they used to have.
And
I'm old, people. Leave me alone.
Yeah, so they're gonna do a what is it? An auction? $100 auction? Is that what
starts at 100?
Starts at 100.
Bidding starts at $100. It's the silver and black give back, the one that all the other pregame auctions have been through. Bidding starts at 100. If you win, the jersey's autographed. You get a certificate of authenticity, autographed by the players.
If you win one, Todd, will you be wearing it?
What player has a shirt that's going to fit over my?
Let me ask you this question. I'm sure you saw the picture. I think it was that Chano posted, right, with all of them in the locker room.
Right, the squad, or something like that.
None of them had any bellies that look like ours.
Okay, first of all, I do have the Alex Bruce game warm up from the other one, and it does technically fit me. It might not be the most comfortable fit, but it fits.
Well, you can get it on.
Yeah.
But, can you breathe and move around without ripping it? That's a whole separate discussion.
Yeah, the arms, a little, but it does technically fit.
But those were at, you said they had started at 50, right?
Yeah, the last two auctions, the military one and what's the one I have? Whatever one is the one I have. I don't remember the charity. But yeah, those auctions started at 50. This one's starting at 100. But it's a lot more detailed of a shirt, cost-wise type. You had to feature the additional cost for the shirt. The fact that it's the throwback type thing.
Right.
What league did the Thunder play in, do you know?
NASL.
NASL.
The old Pelé League, as people call it.
So I wasn't here at that time. So I have, personally for me, I have no. It doesn't, as far as the throwback, it doesn't interest me. It just, like I said, the future port does. My whole complaint, and it's something that, probably since I became a fan of soccer and down here in San Antonio, is I would love for them to acknowledge, the Scorpions, and you don't have to have a Scorpions night or a Scorpions thing on there, but if you're going to acknowledge the past, how do you not, at least say, hey, this year is going to be, this, is the Thunder. We plan on doing kind of a series of these, and to me, the one guy that I really wish they would, acknowledge is Mr. Gordon Hartman, who did, build Toyota Field, and I know there's quite a few of us that will be in Scorpions gear.
I'm pretty sure there's gonna be several people in Scorpions. I would imagine.
Going back, because that's my history of San Antonio soccer. I'm not as cool as the Czechs, and I don't know if you saw this on Twitter on Mike Czech's Twitter, but his mom was actually a mother of the game at one of the Thunder games, and they have the picture of it. Yeah. So they gave out yellow roses. So I think that would be kind of awesome to have Miss Czech, Ginny Czech, be mother of the game, because she's in my opinion brought a lot to as far as supporters and traveling around. I think that would be kind of awesome to see if they would recognize, somebody, some mother, whether it's Ginny Czech or anybody, just to kind of continue that tradition if you're going to, do the old school through that. But, for me, it's been kind of educational, because, I wasn't in San Antonio at that point. I wasn't even a huge soccer fan to really till the Scorpions came around. So
Bobby Moore played.
Bobby Moore played, one of England's greats.
Do you think that you think he's going to be making the trip?
No, he already passed away.
No, he's dead.
Passed away.
Yeah, he passed away early 90s. What I would, if they did honor the San Antonio Scorpions, I wonder if they would, trade a player for a hotel accommodations or something just to honor them. Jab. Yeah. So make sure to make it out. Saturday night, big game against Phoenix, guys.
Please do.
Yeah, please do help out the boys. Todd, any last words for tonight?
Harry saying that he's, he just got here for the Scorpions era, just made me realize that none of us that do this are from San Antonio. Because Scorpions were my introduction, really to San Antonio soccer. Obviously, I knew about the Thunder from the NASL because Detroit had an NASL club back then too. But yeah, it's a little weird. But yeah, get out to the match. Yeah. One, it's a good time. Two, Mission 118 open tailgate, Crocketeers open tailgate, 210 Alliance open tailgate. Get there early.
Temperatures are cooler. It's not 150 degrees outside. It's supposed to be a pleasant night, maybe even a little bit drizzly, per se. But to me, like I said here, other things, obviously if you're listening to this, you're probably a season ticket member, but season ticket renewals, make
they came out today or yesterday.
Those are posted if you're on the auto.
Yesterday.
But let's have a good showing, because Billy and Devin coming back to town after they beat us down 4-0. There's nothing that I would love to do than to beat them 2-3-0 and send them back home Phoenix with a loss. And with this team, they can beat anybody and they can lose anybody. It's the Jekyll and Hyde team that I've come to love here. That they have the talent to, as I said, to be the best team in the league, and yet they can tie Tulsa.
Yeah. So make sure to come out there, guys. Hopefully Scott can join us on the next one. He had to come back.
Family in town.
Yeah, he had family in town. Hopefully he's enjoying his. I think his mom is in town.
His mom's in town. Yeah.
Mom.
So I think that's it for this episode, guys. See you in another one. This has been another episode of the San Antonio Soccer Roundtable. We are out.
Peace.